What's up, guys? Ken here from Seattle. Thanks for joining. It's about 86 degrees out today. It's a hot one. Working in the tank top today. All right, we got a nasty remodel here. So for those of you who do your own taping once in a while, if you can tackle this project, if we can get through this and make it look good, you can do just about anything. So we're going to take a quick look around real quick and show you what we got. But basically, there was a lot of water damage here. They had to cut out a bunch of sheetrock. And when they patch in the new sheetrock, then it butts up against the existing sheetrock, and you're going to have those nasty joints. Okay, anytime you have a new sheetrock patched in and then there's an existing wall, that joint is always going to be a really rough, nasty joint. Probably not going to be flush. Could be a gap. It's going to be rough. Okay, you know, anywhere where there's patches or any remodel job, that's just the way it is. And this one is pretty bad. So let's take a quick look around and show you what we're working with, teach you how to do it. So let's go. All right, so on this side of the room, it's basically new sheetrock. The ceiling and the wall on this side was basically all clean studs, so we got to hang it in a normal fashion. So not much to see there. But you come over here, now we have an existing wall, a soffit here. We got framed in and sheetrocked. And where it comes to the cabinet is really bad, and then that area above the cabinet where the sheetrock meets the top of that cabinet is really bad. So that's the part that's a major challenge, guys. If we can make this look good, we can make just about anything look good. So stick with me on the video. You're gonna learn, and then when you tackle your own project, hopefully you won't have to stress. You'll know what to do. Okay, look at this. Here's the soffit they framed in, we sheetrocked it, and look at this. On this cabinet, okay, they had an existing soffit already that went through, and they had to cut the cabinet to fit around this soffit right here. So they literally cut their kitchen cabinets to fit around the soffit there. Look at this. There's the soffit right up there. They cut the cabinet to fit around it. Anyway, it is what it is. I'm not going to criticize. It's a rental. They just did what they had to do. So when you finish your basement, sometimes you got pipes and stuff that are hanging low on the ceiling, and you got to do what you got to do. So anyway, look at that rough, crazy joint. Okay, they had to cut the sheetrock here, do all the demo, and then we had to rehang the new sheetrock. So now we got this monstrosity here. If you look at it from this view, the sheetrock here is not flush with the new sheetrock. I mean, it's sticking out almost a 1/4 inch there. So obviously we got some prep to do. We're going to get the hot mud out, we're going to pre-fill that, and we're basically going to kind of skim this area so that it blends in with this existing chunk of sheetrock. So we'll make this whole thing basically flat, and then we'll be able to tape it and finish it. Same thing up here. Look at this. Okay, the new sheetrock here. Here, let's look at it from the, wow, look at that gap. Okay, there's the existing sheetrock above the cabinet right there. Here's the new sheetrock. And that is a nasty gap, but I got some heavy duty tape and some hot mud, so we will close that gap and we'll fix that. Let's come on down. Again, the new sheetrock, okay, comes in, and this existing chunk of sheetrock that's on top of this cabinet here, it's not flush. It's coming down about an 1/8 inch lower. So again, we'll pre-fill this gap and just kind of do a thin coat of hot mud there so it makes everything relatively flat, and then we'll be ready to tape it. Okay, goes all the way around. Come over to this side, and it's even worse here. We have a full 1/4 inch of this sheetrock coming down. So that's what we got for the ceiling, and then we got this section here, which is also really gnarly. And the rest of it isn't bad. The rest of it is okay. It's basically normal. But this is bad. Let's take a quick look at this. Okay, again, they cut the sheetrock out. We hung the new patch in there. And whenever they cut out sheetrock, usually you get a really rough cut here. A lot of times they use a Sawzall, and as they're cutting, it's going to be rough, uneven cut. This edge is going to be messed up. We got to clean off all the loose, flaky stuff that ends up there, clean it up. Make it so it's tight and strong, ready. So again, we're gonna have to pre-fill this with hot mud. Another nasty joint here. Pre-fill that before we tape. That one's not super bad, but we'll pre-fill that real quick. But the real challenge here is this one here. Okay, they left the window and the corner bead intact, and they just demoed up to here. So now we have the patch here and the existing here. And something happened here where they messed up pretty bad when they demoed, and they decided to splice this piece back in there, fill that hole. But I can work with that, believe it or not. Okay, it's not flush. Again, this sheetrock is recessed in a little bit. This is bulging almost 1/4 inch. Gonna have to pre-fill that with hot mud. Skim this whole area with hot mud so it's flush and just blends in before we tape, right? When we got to this corner, it was even worse than that one. They demoed all the way up to here, about 1/2 inch away from the corner bead, and they left the corner bead. So you had this really harsh metal edge from the corner bead here. Bad gap, it was bad. Whenever you have that, don't try to work with it. Don't leave the corner bead. We rip the corner bead off. Oops. And just put a whole new corner bead on there, and it will fix that. This is nothing new to me, guys. I've been doing this my whole life. I joined the union when I was 23. I was in the union up here in Seattle for 10 years. I was taught by the old guys to do it right. And now I'm kind of one of the old guys, so I've seen it many, many times. I fix this stuff all the time. I've been fixing this stuff for years, so it's gonna be fine when I'm done. Now on some of these nasty joints where the new patch of sheetrock and you have the existing wall and they're not flush, okay, the new sheetrock is recessed in a little bit. We could have done a few little shims on those studs and then hang the new sheetrock so it was more flush with the existing. We could have done that, but we didn't. We just hung it and got it done and got it cleaned up. And it's okay, because there's a second way to fix it, like I just explained, okay? We'll hot mud it. That's basically a first coat. You're gonna pre-fill that gap. Then we can tape it. 2 nice coats of mud over the whole area and it will be fine. It'll come out nice. So, there's more than one way to tackle these things. So let's just get into it. All right, we got our hot mud mixed up. Check it out. Nice and thick like it's supposed to be, okay? You can see how much I have on there. It's not moving. It's not running off the knife at all. Nice and thick. If I shake it, still doesn't move much. If I shake it a little more, okay, you'll see very slowly start to come off. But I have to shake it to get it to come off. That's how thick it needs to be. Because when you're gonna pre-fill these nasty gaps, if it's a little too thin, it'll just run out. So, nice and thick. Also, I did not hang the sheetrock here. They had a couple of other guys come in and hang it. And these guys were not prepared to do any work to the framing. They're here to just hang the sheetrock. They get paid by how many sheets. You know, they get paid per sheet. So, they're here to just hang the sheetrock. They're not here to mess with the studs, to do any framing, anything. If I hung it, I would have brought my cardboard shims and I would have shimmed a few of these spots so they weren't quite so bad. But it's okay. Like I said, you can shim it and then there's not as much work for the taper. If you don't shim it, then the taper's got a little bit more work. It's not that big a deal. I'm gonna be getting out the hot mud anyway and fixing a lot of spots on a remodel like this. So I'm really not too worried about it. So let's do this pre-fill. And when we're done with this pre-fill right now, all of these rough spots that you just saw are going to be nice and flat and flush, no gaps. And at that point, you will basically be looking at a perfect sheetrock job that is ready to just tape and finish in a normal fashion, like any normal job. All right, now start here. Get this looking good, pre-filled, flat and flush. Work all the way around this angle where it comes into the cabinets and then that wall section that was really bad. So we'll tackle these 3 spots. Okay. Get a decent amount of mud on my knife. And when I put it in there, I'm gonna vibrate my knife a little bit like that, and that'll get all of that into the gap, okay? Huge blowout right there. That is nasty, okay? It's looking pretty good. Now when I stand back and I look at it from this angle, I can see that that is flat. No more bulge, it's nice and flat and it blends in nicely with this sheetrock. So I'm gonna take my bigger knife now, a 10-inch, do one little final wipe down, just barely, not pushing, just to lay it all down flat. Okay, that looks good. Boom. All right, now, no gap. The existing little piece of sheetrock up there is not bulging. Now it's all flat and flush. So now, when that sets up, we can tape it and finish it in a normal fashion. Let's do the bottom. Okay, it's pretty good. All right, now, standing up and looking down, it looks flat, it looks nice. It's flat and flush enough to where we can now tape that and finish it in a normal way. The corner bead here now, it will go on, it will cover that little area, so don't worry about that. Okay, I need to show you how I'm putting my mud on my knife because you need to know how to do this. It's very important. You can't just get a bunch of mud on your knife and go for it, okay? If you do, drips of mud are gonna be dripping off of the edge of your knife here and getting everywhere. So, for this, okay, watch, I go like that. I get the mud that I want, and I go like that, and then I go like that. So there's no glob on the end of the knife right there. You wipe off that extra glob off the end of your knife on both sides, okay? You need to do that, otherwise they're gonna be dripping and getting everywhere, okay? So that's about how much mud I have on my knife now. You can see that, it's nice and thick, which also helps to not make a mess. Okay, so here is the ceiling I showed you. You have your existing little strip of sheetrock here. It's coming out from above the cabinets right there, and then here's your new sheetrock. You have not quite a 1/4 inch, but close, okay, where it's not flush. So like this, vibrate your knife a little bit so it gets in there, okay? Okay, just keep making your way down a little bit, right? I'm gonna go about 3 feet. Okay. We're just over 2 here. I did a space of about 2 feet. That's good enough. Okay, now I'm gonna put my knife in there, but I'm gonna have this side of the knife touching first, and then I'm gonna run it down just to clean out those excess globs that are in there. Because I don't want any mud built up in there, or any globs of mud built up in there. I want that side to be clean. Okay. So, there we go. Now, do one more where I lay my knife down flat, basically. Okay? Bam. Look how nice that looks. Tiny little hole spot right there, but that's fine. Tiny little imperfections don't matter. Now, that is nice and flat and looks so much better already. Now you're ready to tape it and finish it just like you would with any drywall job. So now when we tape it and put the first coat of mud on it, that first coat of mud, we're gonna come all the way out to here. A good 10 inches, even 12. And then on the second coat of mud, we'll skim coat this entire thing all the way out. We're talking 14, 16 inches. It will just blend gradually from this angle all the way out to about 16 inches out. It'll be perfect. Guys, sometimes to just sit back and watch is the best way to learn when it comes to this stuff. I'm explaining as I'm going. That's a good way for you to learn too. Not to do both, but to just sit back and watch for a while. It's the best way to learn. Oh, nice. And we'll go up in the cabinets. No big deal. Okay, finish up this last part. Beautiful. All right, that run is done, just like that. It's so much better already. Okay, now on this side of the ceiling, we had this huge gap. Can't pre-fill that with hot mud because it'll just fall out. There's nothing there for the hot mud to stick to, it's just a big hole. So we're gonna flat tape that, and then once that flat tape sets up, we'll just angle tape it like a normal angle, and it will be fine. So that's fine. Okay, now we got this gnarly wall. Okay, now we got this gnarly section of the wall. We've got some gnarly patches. A couple of nasty blowouts here, okay? The hangers, there was a little nail sticking out up here and another one sticking out down low that they didn't see. They were probably trying to go fast, so they hung it, and that caused the blowout. But it's all right. Like I said, we're gonna have the hot mud out anyway, fixing a bunch of stuff, so not that big a deal. That's how easy it is to fix it. Okay, done. So, if you're a drywall finisher, like I am, it's really not that big a deal. Good. I'm just slapping the mud on and pulling it tight. When I say pull it tight, I mean I'm pulling all the mud back off. That hollow area will be full of mud. Everything will be flat and flush. So it's actually pretty easy. You put it on and you pull it off. Okay guys, let's do more of a side angle view so you can kind of see it from a different angle. Okay. Guys, I'm using my 10-inch knife for this. When you got bad gaps and uneven spots, I like a 10 for this. I can pre-fill it, and then when I go to pull it, it leaves a nice wide coat of mud. Okay. There. Gap is gone. It's nice and flat. Now when we tape that, it's going to be perfect. This is going to get a brand new corner bead on this, so this doesn't need anything. Okay. Pretty nice gap right here. Done. Little brown paper spot here. Put a thin skim over any brown paper spots if you have your hot mud out, just to seal it up. Sometimes that's all it takes to fix those brown paper spots. They'll be good to go after that. You can skim it with finished mud later, sand it, and it's good. But if it does start to bubble out after you do that with hot mud, well, then you know that you need to cut out that bubble, slap a piece of mesh tape on it, and finish it from there. Okay, so basically when we started this video, we showed you 3 gnarly spots that were bad. And those are now fixed and looking really good. So let's take another quick look at those. Okay, we started out here where the soffit comes into the cabinets. Huge nasty gap. Chunk of sheetrock bulging out from those cabinets. Now, as we look down, I mean that's basically perfect and flat. Okay. Same thing with the bottom side. Basically perfect and flat. Look at it from this view. Now that gap right there in the corner bead's going to cover all that. That's no problem. So we can tape that joint, slap a corner bead on it now, and finish it like any normal drywall job, and it will come out perfect now. Okay? Look at this. Now, right here on this section was a bad gap, but I got enough hot mud in there to fill it. So now when I come through to tape it, I'll just do another little bit of a pre-fill there just to finish that and tape it all in one shot, and it'll be fine to do that because there's no black hole anymore. It is basically full. It just needs a little bit more attention. So that's fine. Okay. Everything. No big gap there. No chunk of sheetrock coming out from the top of those cabinets that's just bulging out. It's nice and flat now and normal and perfect looking. Okay. This section looks a little rough. Okay. You look up, slightly rough, but it's solid. It's strong. No gaps. The gap is pre-filled. basically flat. Totally good to go. This whole section. Look at how much better this looks now. Okay. No gaps, solid, flat, ready to tape like a normal job. Okay. Now here's that really bad section of wall. Again, no gap, it's flat, ready to tape. Boom. This weird section around the window, which was so bad. Now the whole thing is flat and flush. Gaps are full, no gaps, no black holes. You can tape it and finish this whole thing. It'll come out nice now. That section is fine. I just need to new stick a corner bead, and that will blend in with everything nicely. And we're good to go. Okay guys, so your takeaway from this video should be that even though before you had some gnarly patches that were just not flush with your existing wall, there was gaps, it was bad. Maybe it's just a couple patches, maybe you had a full remodel job just like this one. But at this point, you should be feeling much better. You now know that by just coming through and any loose chunks, loose bits of paper, loose chunks of sheetrock, those have to come out so everything is solid. Otherwise you'll have blisters behind your tape. Once you go through and do that, then you just pre-fill like we just did. And now you have what is equivalent to a perfect sheetrock hanging job now. So just like that, we went from a disaster to now we have basically a perfect sheetrock hanging job that we can finish now in a normal fashion. Tape it, 2 nice coats of mud, sand it smooth, and it's gonna be perfect. So we're good to go now. And you should be feeling good about that. So I hope you are, and I hope this video helps you on your project. And we're gonna call it good. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe. The little bit of money that I make from this channel is a big help. The winter months when the phone's not ringing as much and we're making just barely enough to get by from month to month, that little bit of money that I make from this YouTube channel is a huge help, and it's a weight off my shoulders. So I look forward to growing this channel. Please subscribe, turn on the bell so you don't miss the future videos. Hit the like. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I respond to anyone. See you soon.